As I'm sure you guys are aware, Michael Jordan this week kind of had a massive scandal and controversy. As according to a Yahoo Sports reporter, that being Tom Haberstroh, Jordan 88, and won the Defensive Player of the Year, had his stats inflated and juiced by the home scorekeepers. Now, when it comes to Haberstroh's article, it's lengthy, has anecdotes, stats, graphics, really has all the works. But the big time major flaw in this article is that Haberstroh's sample size for Jordan having his stats juiced. It's 6 home games out of 41, so roughly 15% of Jordan's home games that season. But even fishier than that, the 6 games Haberstroh chose, they're not on YouTube, the internet. How he found these games, allegedly, was from some guy in Latvia who has them on VHS. Now that raised some red flags, because on YouTube right now you can look up full-length games from the 88 season. So why did Tom Haberstroh seek out this unknown mystery figure for 6 games that aren't online? If you ask me why he did that, was to provide cover if anyone questioned these games or the stats. Because of course, nobody has access to these games on YouTube or the internet, it's only via VHS from some guy in Latvia. And my biggest problem with that 6 game sample size, he's taken those 6 games and applying it to the entire 88 season, and really Jordan's entire career. As looking at one of his own graphics, home steals versus away steals. The years with the biggest discrepancy in home versus away, number 1, 88, number 2, 93, and number 3, 97. Now, looking at 88 and 93, unfortunately the data for those games, we don't have play-by-play or official NBA stat keeping. Now, the one year we do have that for is 1997. And seeing that big gap of 133%, if Jordan's stats were actually juiced at home, the 97 season of the game film should prove that pretty thoroughly. So, cutting to the chase right here, looking at the 97 season, how we're going to do this. We're going to look at only home games and games when Jordan had 2 or more steals. And we're going to verify these numbers 3 different ways. First off, the official stat sheet. Secondly, the play-by-play. And last but not least, the actual game film, something for the Yahoo Sports article that was not present. Now, our first game we have out of the 7 is from 1997 versus the Knicks on January 21st. Jordan in this game had 2 steals. The first one with 1 minute and 4 in the third quarter, and the second one in the fourth quarter at 1 minute and 34.
The Bulls double team Patrick Ewing so they're good guys who can get threes. The problem is you got to throw it in the post.
After Chris Giles, 10 on the shot clock. Giles off the dribble. In the lane.
So, looking at the tape right there, the steals, they check out and they're accurate. Now, the next game, the NBA Finals, 1997 versus the Jazz. Jordan once again had 2 steals. The first one in the second quarter at 1 minute and 36, and the second one in the fourth quarter with 32 seconds left.
The rules, but Harper really starting to lay some lumber on Stockton.
Our third game, March 7th, 97 versus the Pacers, where Jordan yet again had 2 steals. The first one in the first quarter at 1 minute and 17, and the second one in the second quarter at 9:44.
Looking across, and MJ was right in for them. Chip Schaefer down talking to Scotty.
Looking at our fourth game, once again versus the Jazz, this time January 6th of 97. Jordan's first steal on record at 2:20 in the first quarter. His second steal, 5:23 of the second quarter. And his last steal in the fourth quarter at the 10:27 mark.
On the angle right, back to Russell, cut the alley, ball not free, picked up a loose attack. On down court, Stockton, trailer to Hornacek, and he throws it away. Delan Keith, drive off right side, taken away by Michael Jordan.
Looking at our fifth game, 97 versus the Bullets, game 2 of the first round. Jordan's first steal in the fourth quarter at the 8:46 mark. His second steal also in the fourth quarter at the 4:19 mark.
Rangers Kerr on the perimeter, and that let Jordan work on Cheney.
Now Jordan back defending Strickland. Shot clock at 6.
Our next game, the East Finals Game 2 versus the Heat on May 22nd. Jordan this game had 4 steals. The first one, 9:06 in the second quarter. The second one, 7:35 in the third quarter. And the last 2 in the fourth quarter at 11:34 and 3:57.
Ashburn wants it take, Tony, but they try a back door. Mike picks it out. Marley, a long three, way off. Deshaun Leonard had it knocked away.
And our final game we have in the season, Game 1 of the East Semis versus the Hawks on May 6th. And this game actually isn't on YouTube, it's on the Internet Archive. But Jordan in this matchup had 4 steals on the stat sheet, 3 of which came in the third quarter. The first one, the 8:34 mark, second one, 8:11 mark, and the last one, the 33-second mark. Now Jordan's last steal in the fourth quarter, the 11:19 mark. And again, all 4 of those stats check out when looking at the game film.
Landed beside those two, right?
Right, because Hancock's not really a perimeter player. He can get and attack the basket.
So that right there is a 7-game sample size of Michael Jordan's steals at home during the finals, playoffs, and regular season. In those 7 games total, Michael Jordan had 19 steals. And only one of them really, I would say, was a questionable steal. As looking at this clip, Scottie Pippen deflects the ball in my view, but Michael Jordan gets credit for the steal. That is the only one out of the 19 I would say was pretty iffy. So with that one questionable steal, is that kind of evidence that Michael Jordan had his stats juiced or highly inflated? Looking at the game's stats, I don't see it. And it's not some grand conspiracy to prop up Jordan as some larger-than-life figure, because Jordan on his own, without quote-unquote inflated stats, was already a great player, and in my view, the greatest player in NBA history. And if you're going to take 6 games from Tom Haberstroh as somehow proof Jordan's stats they were juiced, I mean, go ahead and do so. But until I have actual concrete proof Jordan's stats were inflated, not some guy's word they were inflated, then I'll buy it. And when doing research for this video, I kind of went in depth with the stats, how they're tracked in the NBA's official rulebook for steals as well as assists. And a lot of these stats, I mean, they are pretty subjective. And the way the NBA records assists nowadays, it is beyond loose. If a guy passes the ball to a player at the 3-point line, they immediately make a move, a dribble, a couple of steps, get a layup. That is a quote-unquote assist in the modern era.
The scoring player receives the ball beyond the 3-point line, and he immediately drives to the basket and scores the layup upon receipt of the pass. An assist is credited to number 36 in the green uniform.
And I was just kind of curious. I looked up every LeBron assist, a very basic search. And this video I found was LeBron James 2020 NBA assist leader. I got 3 minutes and 4 seconds into it, and I already found 2 very questionable assists that he got credit for.
And LeBron is already working on a double-double. He has 8 rebounds to go along with those 23 points.
It stays about where it's at.
James to Caruso. Caruso drives, finger roll.
If you want to talk the subjective nature of assists or steals, I would say assists nowadays are way fishier. And like Haberstroh did with Jordan, to build some kind of narrative that stats are inflated for certain players, I could do the exact same thing with LeBron James. As looking at LeBron's early career just like Jordan's, here's a narrative I could build. LeBron 06 was in his 3rd season, finished 2nd in the MVP. 07 finished 5th, and then made the finals. So coming to 08 LeBron, he was pissed. He wanted the MVP in respect as the best player in the NBA. And the Cavaliers scorekeepers, seeing that frustration, gave LeBron James a little bit of help. As looking at his home numbers versus road numbers, assists and turnovers, there's a pretty big gap and discrepancy. As at home, nearly 8 assists, only 3.3 turnovers, a gap of 4.6. Now on the road, 6.4 assists, but 3.5 turnovers, a gap of 2.9. That right there is a pretty big discrepancy. Now looking at LeBron's 2 MVPs, 09 and 2010. 2009, assists at home versus the road, had 13 more at home. But compared to the road, 31 less turnovers. Now, 2010, the exact same thing. At home, 43 more assists, but 23 less turnovers compared to on the road. My overall point of this comparison isn't to knock LeBron James or discredit him, like Tim McMahon with Michael Jordan. My overall goal is to show you guys you can find wonky stats and disparities for really any player. If you want to create some conspiracy agenda, you can do it fairly easily. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.